Good evening. At dawn British time today, the two best boxers in the world clashed in a memorable battle in the Caesars Palace car park in Las Vegas. It's a fight that split the boxing experts. The fascination of Hagler and Hearns sold out the 15,000 tickets months ago. And even with ringside seats costing £550 each, the take there was really peanuts compared to a worldwide closed-circuit audience that included enthusiastic houses at several venues here in Britain. It's the richest fight ever staged. Hagler expected to collect $10 million, Hearns $9 million. Marvellous Marvin Hagler, his motto, destruct and destroy. The Southpaw champion, 50 knockouts out of 60. 9 years since his last defeat, making his 11th defence since he deprived Alan Minter of the title at Wembley 5 years ago. Thomas Hitman Hearns, already a double world champion at welter and light middleweight. He's never been knocked down. His only defeat, that was in Las Vegas by Sugar Ray Leonard. 34 knockouts in those 40 victories. What a contrasting pair they are. Hagler, 4 years older at 30. Hearns, 4 inches taller at 6'1". Long legs and a telescopic reach. And a surprise at the weigh-in when Hearns recorded a half-pound advantage. 11 stone 6, that's the limit. Hearns in at 11.5 3/4. Hagler, 11.5 1/4. Las Vegas, Nevada, in the desert, Valley of the Dollars, is the shimmering setting. By fight time, Hagler was just the favourite, and the stars of show business wanted a slice of the action as well. Bo Derek, no chance of her coming in overweight. Jack Nicholson, tennis and boxing fan. And Joan Rivers trying to get a word in edgeways. A fantastic reception for Muhammad Ali, still the greatest to many in the fight game. In January, at Birmingham's National Exhibition Centre, British fans saw Don Curry retain his world welterweight title with a super display against the brave Colin Jones. And Don Curry, who could well meet either Hagler or Hearns in the future, is our ringside expert alongside commentator Reg Gutteridge. What's Curry's pre-fight prediction?
Well, it's very tough. It's very tough for me in deciding. Only reason I'm picking is that Hagler's going in with the championship. He's defended 10 times, and he's fighting for history. So I have to give him a slight edge.
I see that the local bettors have made it 6-5 on Hagler, but as Damon Runyon would have said, life itself is 6-5 against. I don't really think those odds mean anything. It's evens with me.
I think so, too. I think both of them are great champions, great fighters, and they're both competitive, and that's what's going to make it so interesting.
Well, we're both looking forward to this, and I suppose I would always pick the mean guy with the shaven head, although that wouldn't happen in your case. So let's get on with the fight. We're really looking forward to it, you and I.
So the talking's over. Hagler and Hearns both primed for the scheduled 12-rounder for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. In America, where they tend to overstate things, they've settled for promoting the contest simply as the fight. The action follows very shortly. We go straight to Las Vegas, where the preliminaries are over. Hagler and Hearns are due in the ring. Let's rejoin world welterweight champion Don Curry and your fight commentator, Reg Gutteridge.
So now you'll hear the crowd rise to them as he comes through the scaffolding area here into the main arena of 15,000 plus. Hitman Tommy Hearns, 6 feet, 1.5. There he is, getting up into the ring now. Now the crowd can see him really for the first time. So there he is, the hooded terror himself. Destroy and destruct. Marvellous, spelt with one L, makes an L of a difference in America. That's his official name, by the way. Marvin Hagler. Total concentration, this man. There's the totally sold-out crowd weeks ago. What is now acknowledged as the richest fight in history at any weight. It really has been an incredible gate to take, plus 1,100 closed-circuit sites from great stadiums to cinemas and private clubs throughout America, and indeed cinemas in Britain. Not bothering to look at Hearns at all. I think you've seen enough of him by now. So you could really cut the atmosphere with a knife here. Hagler wearing his 3 championship belts.
For the next event of the evening, the judges are Dick Young of Los Angeles, California, Herb Santos of Reno, Nevada, and Harry Gibbs of England. Your referee for the next event of the evening is Mr. Richard Steele. This is the main event of the night. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. Introducing, in the red corner, the challenger, the WBC Super Welterweight Champion, fighting out of Detroit, Michigan, weighing 159 3/4 pounds. His professional record consists of 40 wins, 1 defeat, with 34 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Thomas the Hitman Hearns. And in the blue corner, fighting out of Brockton, Massachusetts, weighing 159 1/4 pounds, with a professional record of 60 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws, and 50 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Really, it's totally divided, I would have thought, the support here. Quickly then, Don Curry, that's tension moments for the champion and challenger there. A long wait, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very tension. Now you're ready for the bell and start the action and get the first round
Okay,
over.
I gave both fighters their instructions in the dressing room. I'm just cautioning you now. Obey my command at all times. Shake hands, good luck to both of you.
Richard Steele from Las Vegas. He's in charge of the slots at a casino here. Scheduled for 12 rounds, remember. Some experts think that Hagler really should have taken the 15 rounds course. But it is undisputed, and although the World Boxing Association does now have a 15 rounds course, they've accepted this for their championship as well as the WBC. And the really fixing eye coming there from Tommy Hearns. And you really can't afford to blink here, certainly if you're playing 550 pounds. Oh, so Hagler dives straight in there, Hagler. Where one tries to impose the will on the other. The first bang, walking into a minefield. Oh, what a start. Not playing around with any scouting reports, these two. And it looks as though Hearns landed a right-hand punch there that caught Hagler a little off balance and off guard. Oh, how can this go 12 rounds? This is unloading a lot of carefully nurtured hate, isn't it? It's a question of who takes the best punch. What an incredible start this is. The referee finally having to get in there because they started shoving close in. It's going to be rough. Well, they're not trying to baffle each other with science. We thought it might be a chess match a bit in the opening round. Couldn't have been more wrong than that. Don Curry, there's no way I could see a start like this.
I think this is the kind of fight Hagler wants. And if the fight continues this way, I don't look the fight to go 12 rounds. This is the kind of fight Marvin wants to be in. Good strategy by Marvin.
He wants to draw the big fellow, the long fellow, into a fight. But doing so, he's risking his chin, Hagler. He must figure he's durable enough. 9 years since anybody licked him. And he was only on the deck once, was rolled down, but that was definitely a slip for me anyway. Oh, I've never seen so many punches in the middleweight championship. This in the opening round. Well, Hearns has landed his best shots with that hitman right hand, and it hasn't stopped Hagler in his tracks. He looks as though he's marked around the left eye, Hagler. Don?
Yeah, I think Hagler, that's exactly what Hagler wants him on the rope. Hagler's cut real bad over the eyes, and blood gets in his eyes, but that's exactly where Hagler needs to be, right? Keep Tommy right on those ropes and pound that body.
He's got Hearns pinned in his own corner, and he certainly is bleeding there, Hagler. Heads are banging in. Countdown for the first round, and then maybe they'll calm down a bit. As Don Curry said, Hagler really climbing right on top of Hearns. What a battle. It's the best opening round I've seen in the championship at any weight, I think. absolute mayhem. Well, we'll be glad to hear the round finish to get our breath back, and I'm sure these two were, and the stare at the end there was unreal. Well, I hope that Hagler's not too badly cut, Don. Have you seen a first round like that ever?
I've never seen a first round like that. I think Hagler won that first round. I have to give that first round to Hagler because he came out the aggressor, and that was the right strategy fight. He's testing Tommy's heart.
As you say, it's going to be a battle of courage, and he's saying, okay, let's get it on. And I'm just wondering, I hope that cut isn't too bad there. Goody Petronelli, who spent 20 years in the Navy and was in the surgical unit, he knows a bit about this. Let's have a look at some replay there. Even in slow motion, these fellas are really laying in there. They may not be classy punches, but they're hurting. And again there from another angle. What a war. It's already lived up to expectation. In fact, it's past it for me. Round two. Hearns not used to the southpaw style, remember. The right-hand forward. He's only fought one, the Thailander Meng Sigrin. And that might be against him, but it doesn't matter what style Hagler has when he's walking in throwing punches like that. If he just slows down a second, it will suit Hearns, Don. He can pot shot a little bit.
Yeah, I think the pace will start slowing down here in the last couple of rounds. Hagler's doing the right thing by keeping pressure on him and make Tommy work, because Tommy doesn't have good stamina later on in the round, in the fight. I think if I was in there fighting Hearns, I would fight him the same way. And if I was Hearns, I would look to box more, not to look to try to knock him out with one punch.
He just tripped over himself there. That's the southpaw stance did that. He wasn't hurt there, Hearns. Trying to use the ring now, get around a bit. It's the only way he can do it. He's got height and reach advantage. But Hagler's nullifying that completely by standing on top of him. And he's switching stance, Don.
Yeah, he is. I think he's making Hearns extend a lot of energy. And that's good, because Hearns are tired in about the next 2 or 3 rounds real bad.
Well, I tell you, in both cases, this looks like they've got to bite the bullet here, isn't it? It's going to be a hard one. Yes, that's the tactics all right by Hagler, to make Hearns work the whole time, to really play on his stamina. Well, there's no way they can keep this up for 12,
I don't think so. I think it's going to come down to the will of who's in a better condition.
And maybe old-fashioned guts right at the finish. That's what it could be.
Well, that's the fight Hagler wanted to make out of it, and Tommy's falling right into his plan. One thing you have to say about Hearns, he has took Marvin's best punch. And that can answer most of the question that can Hearns take a punch.
Bleeding heavily again, Hagler. He won't want to be in there too long for cuts to worsen, obviously. Even though Hearns was holding there, Hagler was still managing to throw punches back. And Hearns looks at he's floundering. What condition these fellows must be in to absorb these punches, and mostly Hearns having to take them.
I think Hearns has to get off the ropes. If he get off the rope, he will get stopped.
But coming right at the end of the round, it'll do Hearns a favor. And again, the stare coming from Hearns there. He's not bothered at all, it would seem, though, Don. I mean, he was really under fire there, and yet the way he looked at Hagler was, it's okay, if that's the way you want it, let's go.
Yeah, I think so. I think Hearns has got off his game plan. He needs to stay back and box more, because Marvin is making him extend a lot of energy.
You got to put a band.
And you can hear there Emmanuel Stewart absolutely pleading with Hearns, boxing, stay in there. Well, I don't know about that. I couldn't count those. It must be an expert who can do that with a computer. They are treating Hagler's cuts around the eye there. Goody Petronelli's got a night's work there. They use the adrenaline, 1 in 1,000, which is the only thing they're allowed to use. All those coagulates are checked by the inspectors. So into the third. And the hitman has been hit a few times, and he's also hit back. And Hagler really has fired himself up for this fight. He always knew he was mean, moody, and a bit magnificent at times, and he's proving it here. And he's making life even more awkward for Hearns by switching stance. But Hearns trying to obey Emmanuel Stewart's orders now to get boxing done.
I think he's been smart now by boxing and moving.
Funny, he keeps falling over Hagler's feet, doesn't he?
Well, Reggie, I think as a left-hander, it's very difficult to fight a left-hander. I think Tommy needs to grab and hold him, just like he's doing now, to stay off the rope.
He's also tripping over a few right hooks, by the way. Hello, what's happened here? He's taking time off for the doctor to look at Hagler. Oh, don't say this is going to stop in the third. He said it, let him go there. Dr. Romeo said it's not interfering with his side. It looks as though it's on the forehead, Don, is it?
It is, but the blood can flow in your eye, and blind you.
That'll only make Hagler even more angry, because he probably figures by now that he can't go 12 because of the injury. Although we're almost on the ring apron, Don, of Curry and I, it is hard to see the full extent of it, but the doctor looks quite right. Oh, that's how he went with Ray Leonard when he caught him, Hearns. His feet unbuckled, and when Hagler moved in, the knockdown timekeeper in front of me, it looks like a formality in the third round. Punches to the body there. Hagler made up his mind, he's got to go all out. And Richard still saying, no, you're not in a position to defend yourself. 3 rounds of absolute mayhem. And it's quite obvious, really, that Hagler was easily the better puncher. And Hearns just could not absorb those punches, Don.
I think Hagler went in with the right game plan to make a fight out of it, and that's exactly what he did. I think if Hearns would have laid out and tried to box and weather the first 3 or 4 rounds, I think he would have been in the fight. Before the fight, you and I both favored Hagler because we figured that he would, use his exceptional strength, and this willpower that he's got is phenomenal. I think Hagler came out in the right fashion. I think Hearns, he's that type of fighter where he goes out, he starts very fast in the first round, and he's not a very patient fighter. I've been saying it all week. If Hearns be patient, he can win this fight, but he's not a very patient fighter.
He got drawn into it. He had no options, really.
Well, he could have stayed there and lost the first couple of rounds, but he fought the wrong type of fight.
We usually talk about winners in these situations, Don, but obviously as a light middleweight, let's have a look at this replay, of course, while I'm asking you that question. Right over the top, and it's amazing, really. It was a long punch, and he could not control his legs. He was like a kid in a playpen there.
Yeah, Tommy has a big upper body, but he has no muscles in his leg. And Marvin caught him with the right hook, and that was the damage.
And he really looks as though he's concussed. What a picture. And from the overhead camera, the Rocky shot, I call it, there it is. A long punch, and you'd have thought it was right at the end of it, and they're almost like a giraffe, a baby giraffe trying to go for his first walk. And there's no way he's going to get away from this, because you can run, but you can't hide in this game. And his body just completely collapsed.
I think so. Like I said, Tommy came out with the wrong fight. I told him if he'd be patient and whether lose the first 2 or 3 rounds, don't get into a dog fight, and that's what he did. Got into a dog fight with Marvin, and he lost.
There's the punch that mattered, the one that came over again. And it really is an incredible scene there, the way Hearns is at least trying to get away from him, but he knows probably at that point he's got no chance. And although he weighed a half a pound heavier than Hagler, he was still in many ways the smaller man.
Marvin,
and here's Al Bernstein with the winner.
You went right for his body. He looked like he stunned you momentarily with the right in the first. Did that right hurt you?
It didn't bother me. It just made me madder.
Okay.
I told you I was going to eat him up like Pac-Man. I figured once I get through the right hand, then it was all mine, because I think the first big one, what you tried, try to put me away out there. And I think that's when I got the cut there, but I wanted to show the world I am the greatest, huh?
Well, you are the greatest middleweight. There's no doubt about that.
Did I say 3?
You went right for the body. Was that your plan immediately?
That was the way we planned. I want to thank all my sparring partners. Especially I want to thank God for giving me the strength and the courage and the confidence to go in here and to know that I was the one. I was the champion, but I had to fight like a challenger.
That fight, I think, took tremendous courage on your part for this reason. You walked right in against the cannon. You were willing to take the right hand to knock him out.
You got it. I figured I had to take punches or to give some, but I told you he was going to get some too.
This was, in some ways, not like the Marvin Hagler we've often seen. Not the ring technician. You bombed.
That's it. That's what I felt. I felt as though with every one of my fights I've been fighting, I improved, and I put it all together in this fight.
The Petronelli's here. I guess you've got to be just thrilled with this. It's probably your biggest moment.
The greatest. Is this guy? Does he? Now that we take care of the white guys, the hurt man, the hit man. We love him.
I want to say to all the people out there who spent their money, I hope that you got your money's worth, because Tommy's a hell of a fighter, and I think I put all my all out here, but the better man won tonight.
It's a fight we'll be talking about for years. Poor Thomas Hearns reduced to a spot of involuntary breakdancing at the end, it looked like, didn't it? Well, barely half an hour after the end of that fight, both men faced the press. First, Marvin Hagler, now assured of the recognition and public acclaim he feels he's never had. And Marvin Hagler enjoyed that inquest immensely.
When I came out, I told my trainer, I says, I feel good tonight. When I feel good tonight, I knew what that meant. Somebody's got to fall.
I have to give Marvin his respect, the proper respect, for being a great champion. Like I told you before going into this fight, that man have not held the title 7 years or 8 years for nothing. He's been a great champion, and he proved that tonight by going in there with me and showing me that he deserves the 3 belts that he has tonight.
Well, I was afraid a little bit, but, you know, once I see blood, I turn to that bull, you know, and that's when I know I got to get serious and get it done quicker. I have to admit, you know, Tommy took some good shots in the beginning rounds, but I felt him kind of tiring in there. And in the first round, I think he threw everything at me, and it was at the kitchen sink, they say, you know. But I showed him that he had a good right hand. I mean, showed that I can take his good right hand, and I wasn't afraid of that. And the rest is history now.
I'm not going to go turn around with my head down, because I still say I am a winner. And I shall return again. I did it once before, and I can do it again.
I wanted to open Vegas wide open.
I think you might have had a small party over in Las Vegas. Well, as for the future, promoter Bob Arum says it's very unlikely that Hagler's going to step up a weight to fight Michael Spinks, the undisputed world light heavyweight champion, and Spinks has just about run out of decent opponents in that division. According to Arum, no amount of money would convince Hagler to change weights for that fight. His next opponent's likely to be American middleweight James Schuler, a match with Don Curry still a couple of years away. We're back at 10:30 tomorrow night, midweek sports special. The FA Cup semi-final replay, Liverpool against Manchester United. Brian Moore is your commentator at Main Road. In Scotland, Scott Sport also has the pick of the night's football action. 10:30 here on ITV tomorrow night. They've had some fantastic battles along that famous strip in Las Vegas in recent years. Ali Holmes, Holmes and Cooney, Leonard and Hearns all come to mind. This one, though, has been accepted as by far the most dramatic of them all. The hitman's been gunned down. Marvin Hagler put his lights out and proved he's one of the greatest ever. A marvellous performance. Good night.